The title of the case is The Kidnapped Debutante. Keep that in mind. The clue for this case is skyscrapers. Two policemen found Jimmy with a nasty head injury. But there is a tiny bit of change. He shrunk. Jimmy thinks the two policemen are suspicious for calling a 17-year-old boy a kid when they are requesting an ambulance for a kid with a head injury and possible concussion. But when they turn back, he is gone. Ren returns home and sees the mess in the house. When asked, she says she was supposed to be with Jimmy, and now she is worried to death about him. But Jimmy is surprised to see himself in the mirror on his way home. Something has changed about him. He shrunk. Ren's calls are going straight to voicemail. She is worried sick, something must have happened, so she leaves to check on him. On the other side, Jimmy is struggling to open his own house gate. He is too short. But that's not his only problem, though. But me personally thinking, how are they going to solve cases as he is a kid now? How is the story going to progress? Just then, Dr. Agasa breaks through the wall. It must be another experiment. After seeing Jimmy, he does not recognize him. When Jimmy says it to him, Agasa does not believe him, so he tries to convince him that he is Agasa who makes all sorts of useless gadgets to change the world, but they never work properly, and he has a mole on his bum, hair growing from it. At that, he gets angry thinking it's a prank. After trying everything, how will he convince him now? He uses his strongest weapon, deduction. He says Agasa was coming from the Columbus restaurant after having dinner, didn't you? How did he know? Well, seeing his wet clothes, he must be out in the rain, and the mud from his shoes is similar to the construction site. In the city, there is no mud like that except near the restaurant. And the biggest clue is too obvious, the sauce on his mustache from Columbus. Then he realizes it's Jimmy, but only after seeing his signature gesture of saying only one truth prevails. Agasa lets him in. He is curious about a poison that shrinks the body but leaves his mind the same as before. But Jimmy is annoyed to have to wear the kid's dress again. Why not make him an antidote? But only if he had the formula. Then he just had to find the guys and steal the formula. Now that is his mission, to find the man in black and get the formula. But always a but, if they find out he is alive, then might come at him again. So he must hide his identity a secret at all costs. But what about Ren? She is at the door. Talk about keeping a secret. He panics and hides behind the table. But when Ren asks about Jimmy, he finds his dad's glasses and wears them as a disguise but bumps his head. Ren notices the sound and catches Jimmy. Oh, you are so cute. What a relief she did not recognize. But did you notice Jimmy poking the lenses out of the glasses? But when asked what his name was, panicking take a glance at a book and blurt out that his name was Conan Edogawa. That's an odd name. He says his father was a big fan of Arthur Conan Doyle. It's a coincidence that Jimmy is too. Making it worse, Dr. Agasa asks Ren to take care of Conan for a few days, saying he is a lonely man doing dangerous experiments in the house, not good for kids. But he has a very good reason for it. Ren's father is a detective, so he might find some info on the man in black. On his way to Ren's house, she asks if Conan has a girl he likes. He says gross, but asks the same to Ren. She says she has someone special, to which Jimmy gets red as a cherry. At the door, he is about to confess something, but gets bumped by Detective Moore, who is in a rush. A case about a missing girl from a rich family kidnapped by a man in black. Jimmy jumps in thinking it might be them. At the house, the only daughter, Miss Heel, who is 10, was kidnapped, but Jimmy cannot see a thing, because he is short now. But when Moore lowers his hand, Jimmy snatches the picture and starts asking questions. The butler saw a man in black appear out of nowhere while the young miss was playing after coming from school, took her, threatened to shut down her dad's company for a month, and climbed through the pine tree and escaped with the kid. He couldn't see his face because of his poor eyesight, and nobody heard anything unusual. Getting annoyed by Jimmy, Moore gets annoyed by him and knocks him on the head and sends him back. The other servants also did not see or hear anything unusual. The only clue is the demand to shut down the company, which can mean someone from his competitors is the kidnapper. But then what about the other ransom call? He got another call right before for $3 million in unmarked bills. The first part of asking for ransom in Parson while kidnapping seems unprofessional, but asking $3 million in unmarked bill is professional though. Then what is the case? Just then the ball gets away, and there is a massive dog about to jump him. But everyone is shocked to see him calm the dog in a single move. He is lucky Jumbo doesn't like strangers, and he is an excellent guard dog. But then the pine tree is just there. So how did the kidnapper climb the tree? But Jumbo did not bark for a single time. Just that moment, Jimmy gets it all. He solved it. Well, the problem is if he says he solved the case, everyone will get suspicious, so he had to do something to solve the case as well not to get caught. So he does the simplest thing. He just pointed out that Jumbo doesn't bark at everyone, right? From this clue, Moore concludes that the butler is the kidnapper. He must be the one. That's why the dog did not bark, and the butler confesses to do it. But there is a small problem. While everyone is accusing and cussing the butler of the kidnapping, and more literally declaring another case closed, Jimmy is furious. Because they solve nothing. If he is correct, the girl is in grave danger. Then what is the case about? Just then another call from the kidnapper. But the butler was the kidnapper, and the girl was in a nearby hotel though. Does he have an accomplice? Jimmy figured it all out. It's a double kidnapping. It was kidnapped again from the hotel by someone extremely dangerous. While on a call with the kidnapper, the kid did something pretty smart. She shouted out a simple clue, which is that she is in a school gym shed, and a chimney could be seen through the window. While Detective Moore is confused and asks to get the money ready, Jimmy figures something out. While the kidnapping was not too long ago, they must be close by. Looking at a map, he finds out some expected schools. Shocking everyone, Jimmy the dog rider head out for 5 potential schools where a factory chimney might be visible. After looking through all 5 schools, both of them are sweating bullets. There are no other schools left, unless that. Jimmy sees something that can be mistaken as a chimney. A tall skyscraper. Looking from a specific side might seem like a chimney, and only one school to that side. But he is late, the kidnapper gets a call, the money is ready, and he is about to finish off the girl. But Jimmy was close by and arrived just in time. But it's a mistake. Jumbo attacks the guy, but not enough against a grown man. Jimmy is in danger. He tries to kick and fight, but he is weak and short. He tries to kick a soccer ball, but that's a no-go either. Jimmy gets hit by a baseball bat and is about to get hit in the head. If so, he is done for. But then how about a karate champion girlfriend? Ren arrives just in time and kicks the shit out of the kidnapper. After the show has ended, now comes great detective Richard Moore, who lightly kicks the already defeated guy and smugly announces he captured the kidnapper. What a loser. After everything ended, the girl confesses. It's a totally unexpected story. Actually, the first kidnapping was fake. She just wanted to spend some time with her dad, so she kidnapped herself to shut down the company for a month. While cussing at the butler, he says as a punishment, he has to get an arrangement for Australia. But a nice vacation for the father and daughter. What a nice story. Richard takes all the credit for the case, but Jimmy also gains a little fan though. While on taxi, Moore accepts to let Jimmy stay with him, as it seems Jimmy was lucky for him. The moment Jimmy arrives, he gets a good case, rich client, and also solves it. But we all know who solved it. But he now has to attend elementary school. He's gonna ace every subject, right? The next case title is Beware of Idols. And keep in mind the clue for the case is ice. I will keep uploading one case every week for the whole of 2025. So if you want to see more cases like this, you must subscribe. See you on the next case.